Hi y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another weekly update, guys. We are on the last few days here of October. Spooky season is just about wrapped up. And so, you know what? Let's get this last weekly update of October started. I get a little bit of coffee here. Gonna start it off, guys, with what have I been reading? Well, if you saw on the channel, I did post a review of this. I did start and finish Ombre by Elmore Leonard. Kind of get this on here, possibly with the thumbnail. What I will say about this, I really enjoyed this book. I made the comment in my review, if you didn't watch it, that it kind of felt a little bit like if Clint Eastwood was the star role, but it was told in the format of the man that shot Liberty Valance, with the backlog, looking back in history, in the past. And Dustin had said, hey, that's actually a movie. I've never seen it, but I heard it's really good. So I want to thank Dustin for putting, the movie on my radar. I'm going to try and find that. I would like to find a physical copy of the book. Obviously, me and Westerns, I like to collect them. Not just books, but movies as well. Anything physical media wise. But again, Ombre by Elmore Leonard, pretty good. Straightforward Western, a little gritty, a little morally gray characters in this, I will say. Really, like I said, really, really enjoyed that. I did pick up, just on a whim, I just picked this up. It's a book that I've been trying to get through most of the year, and I just kind of had this inkling that I was like, hey, let's pick this back up, see, kind of if it's clicking again, and it is clicking very much, and that is Steven Erickson's Dead House Gates. I have just a little under 300 pages left of this book, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but being a Malazan book, a little under 300 pages could take you a couple weeks to read. So I picked this back up, I want to say about 2 or 3 days ago, I picked this back up, and I've been really enjoying it. Stuff's clicking. Obviously, there's stuff I'm still confused about in this book, as to be, expected in a Malazan book. You're not going to understand everything. From what I've been told on your first read through, even for the most part, I remember in book one, it was a read through, but things started clicking a little bit more there at the end. It kind of all started making a little bit more sense. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case again with Dead House Gates. Like I said, a little under 300 pages to go on this book. This was the big goal that I had for the year, was to try and read this series. So I'm still trying to, keep up with that goal and whatnot. Again, what I will say right now, we've met some interesting characters. There's been a couple, I don't want to say gruesome scenes, but a little, what's the term I'm looking for? Um, Graphic, I will say, is what I will say. A couple graphic scenes. But again, Dead House Gates, I think I am on, was like what they consider like book four of this. I don't know this book, but again, Dead House Gates, I'm enjoying it. It is clicking. I think taking that little hiatus definitely helped. Again, I'm really enjoying what I'm reading so far. Now comes to the part of the video that I have been, I don't want to say dreading, but just not looking forward to. Unfortunately, I am officially DNFing Stephen King's It. And before y'all start throwing stones at me and whatnot, no, I don't think anybody will do that. If you guys have followed the channel for the last couple months, you know that last month in September, I got a head start on my spooky season reads. I read American Psycho, and then right after that, I've read Rosemary's Baby. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, those two books kind of have thrown me, a curveball to say the least, just because after reading them, I really haven't had, the desire to really watch scary movies or read anything scary, which again is throwing me off. And I was telling my wife about it, and she goes, I was wondering why we haven't really watched any scary movies. I've watched a couple, but I don't know. They've kind of uh, wrecked me for the spooky season, unfortunately. So, I haven't really had the desire to pick this up. And it's not that it's a bad book, it's a good book. I really enjoy the characters in this book. I enjoy the story. I don't have the desire to pick the book up. So I don't want to keep telling you guys, oh, I'm still trucking along. I'm still trucking along. I haven't picked the book up for like a week, probably a couple weeks now that I think about it. So I am just going to DNF it, I don't want to have it keep sitting here staring me in the face saying, hey, you're not reading me. You're not reading me. You said you were going to read me. So I am just going to DNF it. I'm sure sometime next year I will be like, hey, I'm going to pick it back up. I'm going to start where I left off. I just want to be honest with you guys on this channel. Again, I don't have really the desire to read or watch anything scary, which is kind of a bummer because I absolutely love everything horror. But again, I think those books kind of, those two books, I think they kind of wrecked me for a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of a breather from anything scary for a little while, anything horror movie wise, and just kind of, take a breath, come back, and I did that, last month in September. I read, like I said, mostly spooky stuff. And when I read the first Western this month, I really, really enjoyed it. It was a breath air. Like I really, really enjoyed it. So I think that I'm hoping at least that will help the situation. But like I said, I finished Ombre. Continuing on with Dead House Gates. If you watched yesterday, I posted a book haul video of stuff that I picked up from my local library. So it was a mega haul. I think that's the biggest book haul that I've had so far this year, if I'm being honest with you guys. My first one was pretty big for that library sale, but this last one I got like 70 books. Somebody had told me, hey, I think you'll enjoy this this series, and I kind of was a little hesitant because, I read one book by the author, or what supposedly by the author. Again, I'm not sure, how much I should say was written by that author. So, I was a little hesitant to pick this book up, but I want to give this person a shout out, and that is Robert Lynn. Robert had told me, hey, when I posted I posted that video yesterday, I said, whoever had told me give the Dirk Pitt, series a try, let me know so I can remember. And Robert said, hey, I know I recommended it to you. I thought there was one other person, but I could be mistaken. But yesterday evening, I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? Let me pick up a book, a small book, something that I feel like I could read between now and the end of the month. Just something. And so I picked up the first book in the Dirk Pitt series, which is Pacific Vortex. Guys, I have like 100 pages left. I started this late last night, and I stopped reading before noon this morning just because, I had errands to run. But I will say, and I don't mean to spoil the review that's going to be coming on this, what I will say, I am enjoying the heck out of this book. I really am. I feel like this book is everything that I had hopes for the Sam and Remy Fargo series. What I mean by that is, obviously this is going to be a little bit of a different book. We have Dirk Pitt, who's our main star of the series of this book. He's kind of like a James Bond, Indiana Jones-esque character. On the back blurb here says Dirk Pitt is oceanography's answer to Indiana Jones, and I agree with that. I mean, there's been a fight scene, there's been shootouts, there's been all kinds of stuff in this book, and it's not just Dirk Pitt. I mean, there's a scene where, and he doesn't go into detail, but, you have these two female characters that walk off to settle the dispute, and they both come back, and they both have black eyes, they're a little bloody. You could tell they've been fighting. That's kind of what I had hoped for that Sam and Remy Fargo adventure series. So I am really, really enjoying the Dirk Pitt series so far. I honestly think if I had started this series first before the Sam and Remy Fargo series, I probably would be on like book 2 or book 3 if the series keeps up like this. Like I said, I have about 100 pages left, so I intend to finish this before the end of the month, or by the end of the month. That shouldn't be an issue at all. Like I said, I wanted something, just something that I could finish. Me and my wife, we are leaving early Wednesday morning to go on vacation, and we'll be back in like 4 or 5 days. I think it's like 5 days. So, just something I could finish with, between today and Tuesday, and I have no doubt that I will finish this book. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't finish this book tomorrow. Again, I am really, really enjoying that. So again, Robert, thank you. And I swear there's somebody else, but whoever told me that, thank you for telling me, hey, pick up this series. I think you'll enjoy it. But again, guys, that is going to be what I'm going to, just kind of be reading for the rest of the month, for the 3 days that we have left of this month. Again, a little under 300 pages of Deadhouse Gate, so I'm not sure if I'll finish that by the end of the month, but I'm definitely going to give it my best shot. Things are definitely picking up. I know at least in Garden of the Moon, the last 150 pages, everything, it was just nothing but nonstop action. So high hopes for that. But again, guys, that is what I'm going to be, reading for the rest of the week at least. I'm sure I will probably have a couple other things pop up. But again, guys, as always, I do appreciate you stopping by. Again, I'm going to apologize for DNFing it. I know a lot of people had high hopes for me reading that and finishing it. Again, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. So again, I'm taking a break from anything and everything horror-wise. But again, guys, I do appreciate you stopping by. Hope y'all have a good week, and I'll see y'all next week.